And now to talk to us more about nuclear agreements between Indonesia and France, we have with us Professor Djarot S. Wisnubroto, who is the head of the National Nuclear Agency, or Batanpa. Thank you so much for coming. Now, if you could tell us more, or explain to our audience more on the exact type of nuclear cooperation between France and Indonesia. There is also some on agriculture as well. Could you tell us?
Well, anyway, we had a good and long cooperation with the France in the past. In 1970s, we had cooperation to explore the uranium in West Kalimantan. So we went to the middle of the jungle and we opened uranium exploration laboratory over there. Still exists.
Right.
And then after that, in 1980s, the French also support us to establish the radioactive waste management in Serpong, near Jakarta.
Right.
So we have a good communication, but it is surprisingly, the French once again want to renew the cooperation. It is very wide, agriculture, health, including energy, of course. Well, in terms of nuclear technology for peaceful uses. For example, for the agriculture, right now, Batam already produced 21 variety of rice using nuclear technology, using radiation. For example, if one variety we want to, to increase the productivity, we irradiate the bean, then the productions sharply increase from 5 tons per hectare into 10 tons per hectare, twice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we already distribute in some 24 areas around Indonesia. This kind of cooperation, the French also offer many things.
Right, but how about cooperation for nuclear power plants? As you know, is there any details on that from France?
Not yet. As you know, France is a giant country in terms of nuclear energy.
Yeah.
75% of the electricity comes from the nuclear power. They have 58 nuclear power plants. It's very big, while Indonesia only have 3 reactors.
Right.
So I think in the future, or in the near future, they will offering us many things about the nuclear power plant technology. But still, right now, we don't have any discussion yet.
Okay.
Oh, but so far, is it worrying though, having cooperation about nuclear power plant here in Indonesia?
Well, I think in my position, in our position, Batam is not an agency that have a policy on the energy.
Okay.
So we have to collaborate or communicate with Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources on that.
Okay.
Right. But I mean, does this mark a big step forward,
Yes,
though, the cooperation
of course,
with France?
Yes.
But is it ironic, though? There's a cooperation, but still Indonesia hasn't decided yet? I mean, how does that work?
Well, for us, what is the benefit to have a cooperation with the France, with other countries, is for the capacity building. We have, for example, Batam have around 1,000 researchers. They work for the many area, including nuclear energy. And we have a capability to design the nuclear reactors and others. That's why using this kind of cooperation, we can learn a lot of, for example, their technology, bigger than us, for example, to design the reactors.
Okay.
This is good for us.
Right, so it's more about knowledge sharing
Yes,
as well.
yeah.
Now, in terms of cooperations with Russia and China as well, if I'm not wrong, regarding nuclear cooperation,
Yeah.
what's the difference here with France?
Well, Russia is already clearly said to us that they want to build the nuclear power plant in Indonesia. Although they know well, it depends on the political decision by the government. But maybe they have a long-term program on that, including China also.
Okay.
These 2 countries very proactive, comparing with other countries. That's why this is very interesting that France want to renew the cooperation again. Yeah.
Right. Now, I mean, there's still a political decision to be made.
Yes.
But from Batan's point of view, is Indonesia ready for nuclear power?
If you ask me as a Batam employee, I said yes, because we have a long history on the preparation of nuclear power plant program. Beginning in the 1970s, we have already set up some location, including the Central Java in Muria Peninsula, and we recently also conducted the site study in Bangka Island. And we have many organizations. Well, we can say our infrastructure and our human resources ready for NPP program.
But for, say if you compare it to Japan, for example, you know, they had a recent disaster
Yeah.
with an earthquake and the nuclear power plant. Do you see any of those kind of problems happening in Indonesia? Because there's a lot of volcanoes here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have similar situation with Japan, of course.
Okay.
But if we see the map of Indonesia, there are locations that I cannot say free from earthquake, but the potential is minimum, like in Borneo, in Kalimantan, or in Bangka Island, or in Batam Island near Singapore. Many locations that's potential of the earthquake is very minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's another aspect, of course, regarding maintaining peace
Yes.
with nuclear power. Indonesia recently stated in the UN they already signed that they agreed to eliminate, you know, all nuclear weapons, you know, globally. I mean, what's Batan's view on this?
Well, from the beginning, when President Sukarno have a dream, we want to develop our nuclear technology.
Right.
He already stated Indonesia must use that nuclear technology only for the peace.
Okay.
And we very active on the organization, the IEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, and some of our employees already well, they are inspector. They inspect also. For example, they go to Iran, even to some sensitive facility in West Europe or in the United States. This is the contribution of Batam or contribution of Indonesia for the peace of the nuclear technology.
Right. So you agree?
Yeah.
Now, regarding those talks, I mean, France didn't even want to join them, but you know, we're cooperating with them as well. I mean, is there kind of like a contradiction here?
Yeah, well, I think France, like United States or UK or other big country or even China, they are weapons country, nuclear weapons country,
right.
And we only have a cooperation in terms of the peaceful uses. We don't talk about the military use and others. So this kind of requirement for the cooperation.
Okay.
Well, I cannot say this is contradictory or not.
Yeah,
right.
But this is Batan's point of view.
Yeah.
Now, but the threat posed by North Korea, I mean, now it's rising even more and more.
Yeah.
And Indonesia is, you know, close to North Korea.
Are we afraid of getting into that?
Yes, I mean...
There's a possibility?
Well,
we might
in
get
the
a threat.
past, North Korea was the member of International Atomic Energy Agency. Means that the inspector from that agency could inspect and could see and could observe what their capability, their ability. But right now, they are quit from that organization. So the situations remain mystery.
Okay.
So we don't know their capability on the nuclear weapons.
Right.
Of course, the neighboring country have capability to detect if for example, the North Korea government have a test of the nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Only that.
Okay.
So we push through the political channels for North Korea to remain on the control of the nuclear technology.
Right. So Indonesia's kind of staying
Yes.
out of it. Okay. Now let's go back to the power plant. Indonesia is operating 3 small nuclear power plants with Batan as well.
Yeah.
Right. Tell us more about that. Like, how's it going so far? It's just for research purposes, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
These 3 reactors is not for the electricity. These 3 reactors, I can say in general term, like a factory of the medical, for medical purpose. For example, if you go to the hospitals and some patients they suffer the cancer, they use the nuclear technology. They use I can say radioisotope coming from that research reactors. So that research reactors produce the radioisotope for the medical purpose.
Okay.
And other, of course, for example, if you want to change these materials to more flexible, to more to change the characteristic, you can use the research reactors.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, Indonesia has set a goal of having nuclear power by 2025. Is that true? And how's it going so far? I mean, there's cooperation from France, Russia, China.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it in the right direction?
Well,
so far,
I think the government formally have not yet decided when
yeah,
we will operate nuclear power plant. Of course, we can calculate, and this is the authority of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. And in our policy or in our regulations, nuclear energy is the last option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Means we have to optimize our natural resources like geothermal and others.
Okay.
Then we can
Think
consider
about
the nuclear energy.
All right.
All right. So,
So this is the situation right now.
there's
All right.
still some
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
ahead. Okay. Well, thank you so much
Thank
again
you,
for coming.
Professor.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
opinions.